The flesh interface and mind control. The topic of mind control is elaborate, multifaceted, and multi-layered. For the casual reader or listener, it can quickly become numbing, overwhelming the senses and creating a desire to exit the topic, but avoiding this subject is the most foolish thing you could possibly do, since your only chance of surviving this hideous and insidious enslavement agenda, which today threatens virtually all of humanity, is to understand how it functions and take steps to reduce your vulnerability of becoming a flesh interface. The plans to create a mind-controlled workers' society have been in place for a long time. The current technology grew out of experiments that the Nazis started before World War II and intensified during the time of the Nazi concentration camps, when an unlimited supply of children and adults were available for experimentation. We've heard about the inhumane medical experiments performed on concentration camp prisoners, but no word was ever mentioned by the media and the TV documentaries of the mind control experiments. Until now, in our latest set of videos, I worked for the government for 80 years, and there is something you need to know. We soon will touch base on this topic, from a person that lived it, that was there as the experiments happened. That was not to be divulged to the American public. Mind control technologies can be broadly divided into two subsets: trauma-based or electronic-based. The first phase of government mind control development grew out of the old occult techniques, which required the victim to be exposed to massive psychological and physical trauma, usually beginning in infancy, in order to cause the psyche to shatter into 1,000 alter personalities, which can then be separately programmed to perform any function, or job, that the programmer wishes to install. Each alter personality created is separate and distinct from the front personality. The front personality is unaware of the existence or activities of the alter personalities. Alter personalities can be brought to the surface by programmers or handlers using special codes, usually stored in a laptop computer. The victim of mind control can also be affected by specific sounds, words, or actions known as triggers. The second phase of mind control development was refined at an underground base below Fort Hero on Montauk, Long Island, New York, and is referred to as the Montauk Project. The earliest adolescent victims of Montauk-style programming, so-called Montauk Boys, were programmed using trauma-based techniques, but that method was eventually abandoned in favor of an all-electronic induction process, which could be installed in a matter of days, or even hours, instead of the many years that it took to complete trauma-based methods. Our government leak also talks about his time there as well, so please stay tuned for the coming videos. Dr. Joseph Mengele of Auschwitz notoriety was the principal developer of the trauma-based Monarch project and the CIA's MK-Ultra mind control programs. Mengele and approximately 5,000 other high-ranking Nazis were secretly moved into the United States and South America in the aftermath of World War II in an operation designated Paperclip. One of which was our government whistleblower's father. You will soon learn much about him as our story progresses. The Nazis continued their work in developing mind control and rocketry technologies in secret underground military bases. The only thing we were told about was the rocketry work with former Nazi star celebrities like Werner von Braun. The killers, torturers, and mutilators of innocent human beings were kept discreetly out of sight, but busy in U.S. underground military facilities, which gradually became home to thousands upon thousands of kidnapped American children snatched off the streets, about 1 million per year, and placed into iron bar cages stacked from floor to ceiling as part of the training. These children would be used to further refine and perfect Mengele's mind control technologies. Certain selected children, at least the ones who survived the training, would become future mind-controlled slaves who could be used for thousands of different jobs, ranging anywhere from sexual slavery to assassinations. A substantial portion of these children, who were considered expendable, were intentionally slaughtered in front of, and by, the other children in order to traumatize the selected trainee into total compliance and submission. Mind control programmed individuals. The lone gunman that we hear about in assassinations, assassination attempts, school shootings, etc. are mind-controlled individuals who had been programmed to carry out those missions. Ted Bundy, the son of Sam serial killer David Berkowitz, Oswald, Timothy McVeigh, the Columbine shooters, Chapman, Sirhan, etc. were mind-controlled individuals who were programmed to perform these killings. Tens of thousands of young teenage boys were kidnapped and forced into the mind control training program called the Montauk Project starting around 1976. Al Bielek, under mind control, was involved in many areas of the secret Montauk Project. After slowly recovering his memories beginning in the late 1980s, he came to realize that there were at least 250,000 mind-controlled Montauk boys produced at 25 different facilities similar to the underground base at Montauk, Long Island. Many of these boys were to become sleepers, who are individuals who were programmed to go into action at a later date when properly triggered to engage in some sort of destructive or disruptive conduct. Other Montauk boys were woven into the fabric of mainstream American life as journalists, radio and TV personalities, businessmen, lawyers, medical professionals, judges, prosecutors, law enforcement, military men, etc. Worldwide electronic mind control via cell phone towers. OCC ELF Tower. The day is now approaching in which government mind control technologies will be directed at you, your neighbors, and your loved ones. Every single day, equipment is being erected and installed in this country with the hidden purpose of exerting mind control over the entire population. Everywhere in this country, and overseas, ELF/microwave transmission towers are being erected. The antennae usually look like four slightly curved vertical plates about 2 feet in length and located in either 3 or 4 quadrants around the tower, 2/3 up from the ground. Just look around, you'll see them. And you'll also notice more of them going up once you begin to pay attention. No one is saying anything, but you're expected to presume that they're for cell phones. Do you really think that we need that much cell phone transmission capability, every few blocks? Do you realize how very little energy is used by genuine cell phone usage? Yet these towers are capable of putting out levels of power that exceed cell phone requirements by a wide margin. These mind control technologies have been in place for a long time. It's not an accident that the frequency band chosen for cell phone use just happens to match the second-order waves that Wilhelm Reich discovered in the late 1940s to affect thought transmission and allow the mind to be manipulated without the victim realizing it. Reich worked on this project secretly for the CIA for over 5 years, from 1947 to 1952, until he realized who the CIA was planning to use the mind control on the American people. He was outraged that he was deceived and used for such a treasonous motive and swore never to cooperate with the CIA, FDA, etc. again. Reich was covertly murdered in federal prison in 1957, just a few weeks before he was due to be released, having been in prison for 2 years on a trumped-up charge leading to a contempt of court citation. He was reported to have had a heart attack. He was strong as an ox. He was murdered 2 weeks before his parole board hearing. His last book, written in prison, was found to be missing after his death and never returned to his family. However, I need to be honest with you. We have a copy. And you may too very soon. A method was discovered to disable these ELF towers from exerting their mind control functions by placing a simple device known as an ozone generator within a radius of 1,300 feet of these towers. These microwave towers are used in conjunction with HAARP-based technology to not only affect subliminal mind control influences, but also to control the weather. Currently 2017, the creation of artificially induced drought conditions are also greatly influenced by the population reduction chemtrails spraying operations which take place daily over the skies in America and in many other countries. Ask yourself a logical question: why is it so hot in the middle of winter? Just last week Oklahoma hits 100 degrees in the dead of winter. These minor destabilizations have a ripple effect, impacting flora, fauna, and the industries built around them. And now we as a people have started to see them and question, if what may be happening. You should too. Patrick Flanagan also recorded an interview with talk show host Jeff Rense on June 30, 2003 and offered important insights on how to counter electronic mind control being beamed to us from the electric wiring within our homes and from microwave towers, promising information that should be studied. Bryce Taylor. Thanks. Bryce Taylor is the pseudonym for Susan Ford, one of the highest-level MK Ultra mind-controlled victims to ever come forward and reveal her story. It took her nearly 13 years to recover the memories of the events that she reveals in her book, Thanks for the Memories, published in May 1999. Her memories began to return in sporadic fragments in 1985, following a car accident that threw her through the windshield of her car after hitting a tree. It wasn't really an accident as much as a result of mind control programming which compelled her to commit suicide if she began to recover critical memories about her role as a top-level NASA/CIA mind-controlled asset who was used as a sex slave and message, or drug, courier for every president from Kennedy to Clinton and was Henry Kissinger's personal secretary/human computer, file storage and retrieval, for over 19 years. Her owner/handler was comedian Bob Hope and she was loaned out to many famous and well-known entertainment personalities in order to oblige them to be beholding to and manipulated by Hope and his Illuminati pals so they could be used as worker bees to help usher in the Luciferian, New World Order. Her book is probably the most revealing account to date of well-known, national personalities in both politics and the entertainment industry who are involved in the handling, programming, control, manipulation, and abuse of Illuminati/government-created human robots like Bryce or other, well-known celebrity/mind control victims such as Barbra Streisand and Barbara Mandrell. The book's table of contents alone will give you an idea of the incredible number of nationally known names that Bryce had been involved with from childhood into adulthood as a mind-controlled slave. In my opinion, Thanks for the Memories and the two co-authored Illuminati formula books of Cisco Wheeler and Fritz Springmeier are the three most important and revealing books in print on the subject of Illuminati mind control and should be read by every concerned and thinking human being on this planet, for they reveal how the Illuminati mind control programs are accomplished and how they can be broken, allowing the victim to escape from its control. Thanks for the Memories is a well-written book that gives you a front-row seat into the real-world activities of the secret government, the government that's really in charge behind the scenes, those scenes being created by the mainstream media propaganda ministry whose job is to deceive you into thinking that the headline news, cover story government is the real deal. Believe me, it isn't. It's an illusion from top to bottom. We at Paranoid Times try to inform you, yes, you holding the smartphone, are at your desk in front of a computer. The National ID smart cards that will contain your entire medical, financial history, DNA information, etc. will be required to engage in any sort of normal consumer activity like getting on a plane or even going from state to state after military border guards become a common scene in this once freedom-loving land. Spend your cash now while you still have cash, because soon all financial transactions will be conducted using plastic cards. And just like Nazi Germany, our people will be encouraged to report any suspicious activity of their neighbors. In fact, life in the United States will soon become a carbon copy of Nazi Germany of the late 1930s, just a lot more high-tech and much more lethal. Are you ready to live in Orwell's nightmare world of Big Brother and mind control slavery? The new Fourth Reich of Hitler's demonic dream where perverted and promiscuous sexuality is promoted as normal and healthy while Satanism with its rituals of human sacrifice is the only religion to be allowed? Well, it's just around the corner if we remain passive and unwilling to engage these demonic manipulators. We ask you to start, if you haven't, with our new videos. And take this journey with us, it's going to be one hell of a ride. From the rabbit hole, stay paranoid, my friends.